folks, I have been asked to do a review of a new Netflix documentary that just came out called Game Changers. It's interesting to me because if you've been around a while, if you've been around a long time like I have, you sort of see these trends, you sort of see these ebbs and flows, and it's like What the Health that was out, the Netflix documentary that was out a couple of years ago, and our phone rang off the hook with everybody wanting to switch, everybody wanted to become vegans overnight. What the Game Changers is a documentary. It's getting some press because executive producers James Cameron and Arnold Schwarzenegger is an executive producer of this movie, Jackie Chan. Some other big name celebrities are sort of promoting this plant-based eating as the way to go. James Wilkes, who is a former UFC fighter, is sort of the star of the movie. He takes us through this journey where he's sort of insinuating that eating a plant-based diet is the best way to go for elite athletes, and he brings on a number of different people to kind of prove his point or illustrate his point that plant-based diets can lead to you becoming a stronger athlete, a better athlete, a healthier athlete, and on and on and on and on it goes. Interestingly enough, like most documentaries, it is very biased. It swings very much in one direction. Because again, if you do even a tiny bit of research, and they have a strong man on there, and he's plant-based, and he's this very strong guy, and he's a strong dude. But if you look at Brian Shaw, he is the strongest man in the world. Brian Shaw is the strongest man in the world. No doubt about it, and he is a meat eater. If you look at the top UFC fighters in the movie, I got a kick out of this. In the movie, it pointed out how Nate Diaz is a plant-based athlete, and Conor McGregor eats meat, and Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor. So they're kind of suggesting that eating plant-based was the reason that he beat Conor McGregor, and they not once mentioned the fact that in the rematch, the meat eater beat the plant-based guy. And if you look at the top UFC fighters on the planet, all the champions, 90% of the champions in the UFC are meat eaters. There's a couple of runners in there. There's distance athletes and things like that they speak to. The fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt, is a meat eater. He eats eggs, eats chicken. The fastest swimmer of all times, Michael Phelps, eats a ton of meat. So again, these movies come out, and my phone rings off the hook, and I get all these emails because people want to switch to plant-based because they think it's going to improve their performance. And again, if you've been around long enough, then you know that this kind of thing is actually nonsense. It's actually silly when you really get down to it. If you want to eat plants, if you want to get your protein from plants, if you want to get your energy from plants, fill your boots. There was sort of this, I don't know what this is. There was this. They kept talking about protein and energy, and I see this, I hear this all the time. This insanity that somehow protein provides energy. And I just do not understand why people keep saying that, and people keep thinking protein builds and repairs. It does not provide energy of any, it maybe a tiny bit if you've got nothing else in your body. It is calories, so I guess it will provide a tiny bit of energy if you don't have any fat or if you don't have any carbohydrates in your diet. Carbohydrates are energy. Fat is energy. Protein is not energy, so please stop saying that. Anyways, but if you want to eat plant-based, go ahead. But do not suggest for a second that plant-based eating is better and that somehow you will perform better than a meat eater. It's ludicrous. These documentaries are getting out, and especially when you've got someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger who ate meat his entire life and became the best bodybuilder on the planet. Speaking of which, by the way, just for the record, the top bodybuilders in the world, bar none, there are 0 top bodybuilders in the world at the Olympia level, at the Arnold Schwarzenegger level, that are plant-based. None. 0. There are none. The Mr. Olympia, all the Mr. Olympias, every Mr. Olympia champion in the entire history of the sport have been eating meat, are meat eaters. So I'm not suggesting that you should eat meat. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a person who knows anything about anything. I've just been doing this for 30 years, and I've helped thousands of clients with their diets, with their nutrition, and I've helped elite athletes and professional athletes become the best versions of themselves. I'm not suggesting that my way is better than any other way. If you want to eat plants for the rest of your life, fill your boots, go right ahead. If it makes you feel better, I'm a fan. If your health improves by eating plants, do it. If your health improves by eating meat, do it. My great-grandmother lived to be 108 years of age. 108 years old. She ate meat. I'm just saying. I'm not an expert by any stretch, but I think I'm going to take a little bit of that. And there's all kinds of reasons why somebody should not eat meat if that's your choice. Maybe it's genetics. There could be all kinds of other reasons. But don't be misled into thinking, just because a movie comes out with celebrities, don't be misled into thinking that eating a plant-based diet is going to make you a better athlete, is going to make you stronger, or make you better at anything. Can it make you healthier? Maybe. Give it a shot. See if it works. But Game Changers is very biased. It's bizarre to me, especially when it gets into this whole thing about the strong men. When the strongest men on the planet are meat eaters, it talks about the sprinters, when the fastest people in the world are meat eaters, the fastest swimmers are meat eaters, the UFC champs are meat. It gets a little. It's these types of documentaries. This isn't the last one. Trust me, this is not the last one. There'll be more. There's more coming. The ebbs and flows. Keto had its run, and I think people have finally figured out that that's not the way either. So the diet industry is very, very interesting to me. And my final opinion on all of this nonsense is that we need to balance. We need fats, we need carbs, we need proteins. We need to eat them from healthy sources. We need to move more. We need to drink more water. We need to try to get healthy, nutrient-dense foods into our bodies often throughout the day. We need to eat more veggies. We need to eat more fruit. We need to eat clean, healthy foods as much as we possibly can, and we need to eat it in a balanced format depending on your goal. Everybody's goals are different. Depending on what your goal is, depending on what you're trying to achieve. If you're an endurance athlete, you need to eat a little bit differently than if you're a strength athlete. You need to eat a little bit differently if you're going for the stage as compared to somebody that just wants to be better on the soccer field, for example. If you want to look good on a boat, it's a little bit different. If you just want to be healthy, it's a little bit different. Diets are different for everybody because everybody's genetically different. Everyone has different goals. Everyone's metabolism, basal metabolic rate is a little bit different. So don't be misled into thinking that eating this way is somehow miraculously going to turn you into a superhero. It's probably not. But give it a shot. Game Changers, it's a good movie. It's well done. But just take everything that you see, everything that you read, and everything that you like, just take it all with not a grain of salt, with a salt shaker. Take it with a salt shaker. So Game Changers, not bad, but very biased, and will not make you the strongest human in the world. Take care, guys.